Welcome back, everyone. What a beautiful day for Dragon Ball. Hope you guys are doing a little bit more damage since we last seen each other. Today we're going to talk about the most important thing yet, and it's going to be offense. And I'm not talking about doing more damage, but more so making sure that it stays your turn, making this truly a one-player game, all right? Maintaining the offense, all right? This is probably one of the most important videos yet, so let's just get right into it. And this is going to apply to everyone. Before we were talking about characters that have the same combo routes. This is just pretty much everybody in the game. You don't have to worry about this too much. It's not very too character specific for the most part. Let's go right back to Tutorial Island. But we'll get into the good stuff. Alright, so here we are back on Tutorial Island. Before we get into offense, I want you guys to understand that offense is just one side of the coin. Defense is equally as important, and we'll be talking about that next week. So again, if you have not subscribed, be sure to do so. All right, so let's talk about offense. So let's assume we've already bypassed neutral, right? Either we're using assist to get in, or their opponent just let us walk up for whatever reason, right? No matter how we got in, we need to understand what we can do. And I made a little infographic for you so you guys can understand your standard solo character mix-up. So I'm gonna put that up real quick. All right, and so again, the infographic will be in the description. But let's just go over it really quickly. So basically the rundown is you get 2 lights, right? And from your lights you get 1 mix-up right out the gate. They added this in season 3. You can go into your standing jab and then grab. Super slick, right? Because if your opponent doesn't break the grab, you get a full smash combo like so. Excellent, right? That's just off our lights. And then we also have the low overhead mix-up when we go into our mediums, right? So everyone in the game, I'm pretty confident, they may not have a down light that's a low, but they definitely have a down medium that's a low. And so once we get into our the medium part of our chain, right, from the light, medium, heavy chain, we can make our opponent guess a couple things, right? They're gonna be like, all right, so he's gone through his lights, he can't grab me. Is he gonna go straight into his down medium, or is he gonna do a standing medium into his down medium, or is he gonna go into his standing medium and then do the overhead, or so on and so forth. You see, this is where the mediums, where the meat of it all is. Hopefully no pun intended. Anyway, let's talk about the overhead real quick, because most people are going to block low and react to the overhead, seeing as though it comes out in 24 frames, which is pretty reactable, by the way. So when you hit it on block, it's 0, meaning if you and your opponent start mashing light, you're going to probably clash and things are going to get pretty hectic, right? You are going to have to figure out how you want to play those situations on block. Typically, I just don't want to be a part of it, because scrambles are kind of, they're a scramble. Anybody could win. So let's talk about what happens when you actually do open the opponent up with the overhead. So unfortunately, we can't combo or anything, right? Look, we can't vanish. You guys can see my inputs, but you can't vanish, you can't super dash, you can't do super level 1, you can't do anything. But we are at the very least, as you see from the frame advantage right there, that 3, we are at least +3. So we get to take our turn again, right? So we can go ahead and start from the lights, right? Now they have to guess, hey, is he gonna go low? Maybe he has a crouching light, Is he gonna go for low, jab into grab, right? Is he gonna go right back into his mediums, try and catch me trying to move away from him, right? Because the down mediums typically have a lot of range, or slide, or sweep of some sort, right? And yeah, those are pretty much your options. And if all else fails, remember, you can always reset them having to guess these situations by just throwing out an assist after your heavy, right? They're gonna create the most block stun from that heavy. And that wasn't the most frame tight thing, but you get the idea. And once you reset your turn, right, you can make them guess again and again and again. You get up to 2 assists, right? And don't be afraid to grab. Grabbing is super good, because you get the most important thing in the game, and that's a sliding knockdown, which is going to transition us into part 2. So now it's time for part 2. Part 1 was about what we do to open our opponent up on block. This part's gonna be about what we do when we finally do get the hit and we knock them down. Post knock down. How do we continue to apply pressure even after we've gotten all of our damage off? So yeah, let's just get right into it. So let's just say for some reason our opponent decides to stop blocking, right? And I'm gonna try to imitate this by doing a little bit of a block string, right? So like I said, like on the infographic, right, we're typically going to end with a special move that's safe on block, meaning it's -5 or higher, meaning we can at least block and our opponent cannot retaliate us, right? Or like get a free hit or anything, right? So let's say for some ungodly reason that our opponent just, before we get to the end of our block string, they just let go of block, right? And sometimes this happens. People are trying to do stuff, man. But I want you to pay attention to how Frieza gets hit here. Look at Frieza. So Frieza flips up before I can even do anything. And they have a series of options that they can actually do in this situation, just to show you how bad it can get sometimes. Let's set Frieza to back tech here. Oh, trolling. There we go. So I hit him with the heavy. I do a basic combo, but before I can even do anything, Frieza's already gotten back up. This is what I like to call the no knockdown. And there are 3 knockdowns. No knockdown is typically what you're gonna get from your straight hits. These are the lowest form, or the least strong of the different knockdowns. They're not bad or anything, but you typically can't get much pressure. Or you may have heard the term Oki. Okay, and these can happen in another series of ways. Another way that you typically get the no knockdown scenario is off of doing level 1. So let me demonstrate here. So some people may think this is cool. And it is look cool, right? But look, Frieza's gonna immediately recover. We got no knockdown from that. We can continue to apply pressure. There's a bunch of different ways to get no knockdowns. Typically you get them from the vertical smashes, either in the form of either in the form of a horizontal smash like so, or you know, maybe you got your vantage combos down, right? It's gonna happen again though. That's technically a horizontal smash, so we got no knockdown. You may even get it just off hitting a straight super dash, right? There's a bunch of different ways to do it. And the general rule of thumb, in order to maintain pressure, you typically want to avoid this at all costs. So even though this looks cool, if it's not gonna kill them, do not do it. Okay? That's the rule. All right, now what is better than no knockdown? Well, there are these things called soft knockdowns. Okay, and soft knockdowns typically come from vertical smashes like so. Right, that was a hard knockdown. Let me show you a soft knockdown. So a soft knockdown, typically you can create them by doing or learning alternate combo routes like so. And I want you to notice how Frieza kind of slides on the ground. And I have some time to get over there, right? But not the most time, right? But at least I can get right on top of them and I can start eliminating wake up options. So let's go ahead and press start, look at the enemy settings, and take a look at ground recovery, all right? And mid-air recovery. Mid-air recovery is basically when you let the opponent flip out in the air, either from doing a level 1 or just dropping your combo, right? And then you have the ground recoveries. These are typically the ones that are going to come from our soft knockdowns and our hard knockdowns that are going to matter, right? So let's take a look at their options. They get back, they get to recover flipping backwards, flipping up, and flipping in or staying in place. From staying in place, they can also delay how long they stand up, right? So they actually have a lot of options, but we can cover options if we force a soft knockdown, because we have time to get to our opponent and we can react to them and get a hitbox active before they do anything. The rule of thumb here, in order to maintain pressure, is after you get your soft knockdown, is just stay grounded and pretty near their face. That way, if they decide to get right on up with the in-place tech, you're ready to go. If they do a back tech, you can quickly respond. You're like, oh, they did a back tech, you can move right back into place, right? And the same thing goes for up tech. Now, up tech is the weakest for the enemy. You'd be happy that they do this, right? Because now they can't reflect you, and now they can't down heavy you, right? But you can do like that. You can press down heavy if they decide to come up and do a button out of fear or they're panicking or whatever. So that's the beauty of soft knockdowns. And the only thing better than those are hard knockdowns. And they're not too different, but typically they come from your basic B&B combos. And if you notice, there's a little bit more time. This says we have 72 frames of advantage there, as opposed to, I think we had a little bit less, right? But you can see the difference, and it does really make all the difference in this game because it's so fast, right? So being able to give yourself time to breathe and eliminating options is really, really good. And the more they slide, the more likely they are to end up in the corner, right? So if you do the combo that you learned from the last video, like so, right, it's a version of it, they're already in the corner, they're on the floor for more than a second, and that gives you plenty of time to assess what options they have as they get up, okay? And if you have your assist available, right, you can have them cover the ground while you continue to cover the aerial options. And that's the power of the hard knockdown or the soft knockdown. So, you know, if you want to maintain your pressure after your combos, make sure you learn routes that do knock the opponent down. Don't do this. All right. Now, what if we want to do damage though, right? Because our supers do damage. What if we want to do damage but also maintain pressure? Well, that's where our level 3s come in. Let's get into part 3. All right, so now the question is, how do we both do damage and maintain pressure? Well, if you didn't already know, level 3s are designed where they force the opponent to get up at a fixed timing, which is going to allow us to get right back on top of our opponent and maintain our offense, right? Unfortunately, not all level 3s are treated equal, and to show you how ridiculous this can get, let me show you Android 21. So you saw how Goku Yellow, when he leveled 3, he pushed them out of the corner, right? Let's say we were in the corner with Goku Yellow, he would push them out because it switches sides. But she not only maintains the same side that she was on originally, she's also in a really good spot to force a side switch. I fucked that up, but she can force a side switch. And now the opponent has to guess as they're getting up, not only if I'm gonna go high or low or grab. Now they have to worry about if I'm gonna go left or right. And this is why we call her the queen of level 3. Yes, sir. I'm just gonna show you guys a very basic mix up here. Say we level 3, I'm gonna pretend like I'm gonna go on that side, then I jump on over here, right? And then she has these great normals, so she can just continue pressure from there. She is truly the queen. Now most characters are gonna be like Android 17 though, right, where they do keep the same side, but they push the opponent full screen. And it's like, oh man, you can't really get much. You can typically get over there in time, but they can kind of see your approach, right? So what do we do then? Well, if you get the opponent knocked down in the corner from just doing, again, our basic combo from the last video, we level 3 in the corner like so. You don't do it like that because, you know, that's how you do it the wrong way. Let's say we're doing it in the corner like so. And look, I can jump right on top of Kid Buu. There is literally nothing that Kid Buu can do except for do a level 3 or reflect, right? Because both of those are frame 1 reversals, meaning they come out instantly and the enemy is basically invincible. That's how you counter these kind of situations, right? So let me just demonstrate here. So we all know that down heavies, right, are designed to be anti-airs, right? So now I'm gonna do the exact same setup and watch. You would think Kid Buu would beat me, but I can actually get my move out before he can even get that down heavy out, right? So just to reiterate, the only option available to the opponent is either reflect or to level 3. And these are what we call safe jumps, right? Because no matter what, I don't lose in this situation. Even there, it says I'm +2, right? And most characters follow this same theory. All you have to do is level 3 from the corner, and if you see the opponent sitting there in the corner like Kid Buu is, you can typically either just jump right on top of them or instant air dash and then jump right on top of them. All right, and just to demonstrate, one last thing here. Now we're gonna set Buu here to level 3. And you'd be like, oh no, Kai, you're crazy. You're gonna get smacked up. No, sir. Safe jump. And then we can just go ahead and full punish from there. And if we have another 3 bars, we put them right back in this situation. And now it's a 2-touch game. Now they're dead, right? I've built up more than enough damage and resources to just kill them at that point. So yeah, another way to maintain offense and do damage, level 3s. But what else? Time for level 4, or stage 4 of offense, actually. So hopefully it's become clear now that with the right resources, you can stay in complete control of the game if you experiment with all your characters, run a couple situations, right? And just force the opponent into a position where they kind of have to guess your offense to even get out. They at least have the ability to do that. So what is the very last stage? Remember I mentioned there are 4 stages. The very last stage is the snapback. And if you remember from the last video, when we grab, we hold an assist button out to pull out the corresponding character. Sorry, I got them still set to level 3, but you force them out, right? So how do we stay in control here, right? Let's say that, let's say Kid Boo's really low and we just want Kid Boo to die, right? And they got the switch out and we're like, nah, fuck that. This guy needs to die right now, right? What do we do then? Well, I want you to pay attention to how the person comes out. All right, let's do that one more time. Watch it. Look at the height they come out at. They do not come out grounded, meaning they have no access to universal defensive options, right? Only thing they can do is level 3. If they have an aerial level 3, they cannot reflect, they cannot down heavy. You are in complete control of the situation. The best thing they could do is vanish, and even then that's going to get smacked up, right? And let me just go ahead and demonstrate. So if you manage to get a grounded Dragon Rush, this does not necessarily apply to an aerial Dragon Rush, right? But if you get your combo routes down, you can typically get a grounded Dragon Rush and then force the opponent into a bad spot, right? So let's say they come in, they're like, oh, panic, and now Kid Boo is fucking dead, right? Just like that. Because I know I am in complete control when I get that snapback, right? Hey, look, a new stage, just like that. So when you snap somebody out like that, remember, you want to do the grounded Dragon Rush. Doing it in the air is fine, but you won't be able to immediately respond to some of the options they're going to have. But with that, we have covered all 4 stages of offense. Basically, there are some stages in between here. Obviously the game doesn't exist in a vacuum, and it's upon the defender to kind of find ways around these stages, right, so they can get back in the game and earn their turn. But for the most part, as long as you understand what to do in these situations with your team, you're in a really good spot. Typically the ball will be in your court. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we have completed our offensive lesson, or our lesson of offense. Yeah, it should be pretty clear now that if you just do the research with all your characters, you can pretty much stay in complete control. You can actually know what the options of the defender are, and you can really make this a single player game, honestly. I don't know if you guys ever seen Marvel played at a high level, but it can get pretty one-sided pretty quickly if someone's very comfortable on their team. And that's why I say stick with your team once you get them. Stick with those characters from the previous video that are highlighted in green. Their combo routes are really easy, which means you can typically get your opponent in a soft knockdown or hard knockdown situation, which is really going to help you lock them down, right? So where does that leave us now? So you may know how to hit them, and you may know how to basically keep your turn, but how do you earn your turn? We're going to be talking about defense next week, and let me tell you, if you thought this was the stuff, defense is the stuff. Because if you've seen any high-level play, oh my god, there's so much stuff you can block, but if you have to block, but if you block it, you are in a really good spot. So yeah, thank you guys for tuning in for this. I hope you learned a lot. If you have any questions, post them in the comments below. You can ask me on my Twitch channel. I'm live Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. I'll catch you on the next video. Peace.